course, all information from our speakers today, myself and Khoi, we're sharing what we know so far, but as news and law still come in, there might be some changes after this. But the best way is to come and have a chat to us and then we can tailor the grants program for you. So the overview of the Victorian's $3 billion business support program is basically on 3 pillars. Number one is they cover the business support, the business grants, which makes up of $1.08 billion in funding business right out the remaining of stage 4, which namely is, from September, on Sunday to really October 26th and the stages coming out. The second pillar is business adaptation support, business adaptation support. This is including $44.2 million to assist SMEs to get back on track in the wake of the pandemic. Okay, and we're going to go in detail what that entails. Pillar 3 is waivers and tax deferrals worth $1.8 billion to ease the burden on companies trying to recover in the next financial year to 21. So these are the 3 pillars that myself and my colleague Khoi will focus on today. And I believe that it is specifically for Victorian SMEs. So if you're not a Victorian SME, but you want to learn, then still stay on and then pass it on to a business peer that is. Okay. Now, so let's get to it then. Everyone knows this man. He's probably got the toughest job in today, and I'm not complaining about my job because he's the one that is trying to reunite our economy with this $3 billion stimulus. Now, everyone, if you could comment your questions in the comment section, and then we can, if we have time, we'll get to it at the end. Okay. Now, the first package, I will go through the first package because we've got a grants team that has been very efficient and very successful in applying for grants for all our Victorian customers. You know that the first round was a 10K grant, and the second one just finished, closed on the 14th of September, was another 10K grant. Now, this one is the third round is a 10K grant to a $20,000 grant. And this time they have tiered it based on your payroll. Okay, so let's have a look So you can see here that if your payroll is less than $650,000 in the financial year 30 June 20, which is already passed, you will get you can apply for the $10,000 grant. And then if your payroll is between $650,000 to $3 million, then you can apply for the $15,000 grant, and then so forth. $3 million to $10 million, it will be the $20,000 grant. Now, I'll ask everyone to be aware that it's not an automatic application successful. There are many other criteria that you need to substantiate and to be successful, like last time. But it will open. The good news is the grant application will open tomorrow on Friday, and therefore we will be sending out invitations to our clients on which tier you would be eligible for. So keep an eye out this afternoon if you're already our client. If you are not our client yet and you want to have our grants team assess your business, then please get in touch at the end of our session. Okay, I'll get Khoi to cover the next one. Okay, before that, there was a late announcement for sole traders, because sole traders generally do not employ staff, and but one of the criteria is as long as you are a participant of JobKeeper program and employed and registered with WorkSafe and registered for GST. There were the 3 main criteria, but for sole traders, they not necessarily will pass this one, where employed people. So The government has announced that there will be grants of up to 3,000 to 30,000 for eligible sole traders. Now, the main criteria is that you will have to have a commercial tenants location. So if you're a sole trader, you have to actually have a commercial premises. There are more details coming out, probably today or tomorrow, that we'll be assessing for our sole traders. So that's the first time that sole traders are eligible for grants that are not employing staff. So that's amazing news. Okay, so if you've missed out, if you're a sole trader, and if you're missed out in the past, please get in contact with us because we might be able to apply for this time. Okay.
All right. Thank you a lot. Yep.
So this is about hospitality and yeah, so this is more. I'll get Khoi to cover the adaptation support grant now.
Okay, just wanted to touch on the sole trader support. So the main criteria that we need to take point is that you have to you actually have to pay rent. So you must have hire a place to run your business. So an example it would be, say for example, someone runs a dance school studio and hire a hall to run the business. Then that person as a sole trader can apply for that grant. Or say someone who runs a photography studio and hire a studio room somewhere to run the business, then that person will be eligible to apply for it as well. So that is the main criteria. In addition to it registers for GST and has been adversely affected by the close down. Okay, so let's move on to and just before we moved on, Dan Andrew, whether you like him or not, I suppose he's been advocating for Business Victoria, and I think that all our audience who are here today, would have received some sort of government stimulus in the last 6 months, whether it's JobKeeper or the Business Support Fund 1 and 2, and hopefully the Business Support Fund version this stage 3 will take us out of the current pandemic. So finally, hopefully, light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully this will be the last support that we get, and hopefully we'll get back to some normality. Past, I suppose, up until Christmas. Okay, so let's go to so the business adaptation. So what that means is, so let me just skip that slide. Yep. Okay, so this business adaptation, what it does is it gives it's a grant that's been provided to the Victorian Council. In particular, the most important one is if your business is one that within the CBD, there's a partnership between the Melbourne City Council and the government to help business with this new incentive where they come out where they say, look, when the business starts to reopen, we want to encourage people to come to the city, spend the money. And the way to do it is that we want to encourage business that can operate outdoor to have access to some of these grants to help with those settings. Whether you need to buy outdoor furniture, umbrellas. So that's for that. And I think, sorry, I'm just going through my note because I'm sort of, so you can access up to 5,000 in grant in terms of the spending on outdoor equipment. And the council also has $30 million where they can spend on COVID-safe events and cultural activities. Given that summer is coming, Christmas is coming, so there's incentive for the government to do that, to attract more people into the CBD. And also, as part of that, $4 million towards the improvements of the CBD landscape. That's probably means less car, more car off the road, so that people can walk along, I don't know, Swanson Street and other areas, and hopefully will enjoy the festivities coming up. There are these other smaller programs, and I think most of our audience are probably doesn't apply to them. So we're not going to spend much time on that. So $20 million on a voucher program to assist sole trader building the digital capability through the shelf digital programs such as Shopify and Square online. So I think it just means that I suppose business that who are used to handling cash business and things like that. I mean, nowadays a lot of businesses are starting their online business. It's something that we're thinking about. So it's probably an encouragement for those businesses to think outside the box, and maybe let's join the rest of the world and let's do some online business. There's $15.7 million on Victorian exporters to help the addressing logistic problems. So given the pandemic, a lot of things sort of stall. So I think it's just a boost to help things get back to some normality. And $8.5 million to market and expand the Click for Vic campaign to promote producer and encourage more Victorians to support local business. I actually spoken to someone last 24 hours, and one of the council that their business is located in actually sent out a notification to say, look, you can apply for it, and I think the thinking behind that is if small business within the local area can help each other by buying products of each other, then I think these are the grants that sort of towards those sort of business. The next one is quite a substantial 1.8 billion in tax and cash flow support. In terms of a large chunk is to defer payroll tax for business up to $10 million for this current financial year. So if you notice, if you're a business that has been paying payroll tax for many years, you notice that your 2019-20 you didn't have to pay any payroll tax, and that's going to apply again this current financial year. And what that means is that it encourages business to retain staff, hire staff, so that once the business reopens, then we're back to trading busy again. And also there's also the sort of bring forward the 50% stamp duty discount for commercial industrial property for regional Victoria. So I'm not sure what that means. Whether it must mean if you business are planning to buy commercial or properties in regional Victoria might get a 50% stamp duty discount. If anyone would like to find out more, then we can actually do some research and get back to you. Defer plan increase in landfill for the next 6 months. Congestion levy 25% waive. So yeah, also of another important is the liquor license fee waivers for 2021. So those who are in the hospitality business, cafe, pubs, restaurant, then that's another good incentive as well. So on top of your payroll tax, your license fee waivers, and hopefully some other permits and I think there's also a grant for different councils to work with the business stakeholders to pass on some of those in terms of waiver of permits, and liquor license is an important one. Okay. Next slide, please.
I think that's it. That's
okay, all right.
Summary. And this is just so for those who are watching live with us, I can see that some are relevant for those who maybe are looking at the bakery and you want to have some outdoor setting of the equipment. or if you're in Melbourne CBD and you want to expand in, the cultural aspect. So apart from the basic grants of the 10 to 20K, there could be other tools and equipment that we can look for you, but they will be harder to get, is what I'm saying. There will be tailored questionnaires and documentation that we need to collate and obviously to support your application. But that's what we're here. That's why we're here. And if you have any questions, you can either come and email it either to myself or Khoi privately, or if you're not a client yet, please and send us an email and we will get back to you on assessment of your business. Now, for those who are not yet in our community, because the next episode will be on JobKeeper 2.0 next Tuesday. That one is, I believe, will be, last time we did JobKeeper, it was always fully booked because it is probably one of the biggest stimulus from the government. So please, if you haven't registered for the JobKeeper program, which is next, not JobKeeper program, JobKeeper webinar next Tuesday, we will also present it on YouTube Live, but also because of the amount of people, we will list the Zoom link, webinar link that you can register this time. Okay, so any other last words, Khoi?
Yeah. Just touch on that. Given that this business grant is open for tomorrow, we can start apply for tomorrow, and then Lan will be we'll be running a JobKeeper webinar next week, and we're already mid September, and these things will start towards the end of September, early October. It's advisable that that we all start looking at it and prepare and actually get ready before the end of September. So don't wait until the first week of October, second week of October, because there are deadlines. And if you are not our clients, you need to speak to your accountant advisor to make sure that they are on top of all this. So it is quite important. There's only less than 2 weeks left to prepare. So most of our clients, we made sure we ensure that they were prepared back in March. So the past 6 months, I think a lot of our clients survived this pandemic, and we hope to we want to ensure that moving forward they will be looked after as well.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you, Khoi, for a coverage of today. Khoi will be joining me next Tuesday on JobKeeper 2.0 and what you need to know on the new requirements. Please tune in for that, because it will be as I said, a more action-packed show. But if you have queries about the next show beforehand, please email to us beforehand so we can cover it in the show as well. But if you're listening right now, please give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe so that you get notified for future webinars, and let us know if any topics that you'd like us to cover. But yeah, we love your feedback and your comments. It gives us motivation to continue to bring the latest education for our clients and our viewers. Thank you again, and I'll see you next time.